Wow, what a rare treat, huh? Prabhu. We should want to sing a new kirtan. It's not new, it's new to me though. Maybe Vishakha, that he knows it already. When we were in Thailand recently, they have a 10th edition of the Kirtan guide, and there's some new songs in there that aren't in the other ones. Some very nice songs of Srila Maharaj's composition. But this particular song is by Bhakti Thakur, and it's really simple to learn. Do you know Mayura Mukutta? Do you know this song?
I've heard it, yeah. Sripad used to sing that song.
Oh, okay.
I liked it very much.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful song. And it's so simple. Because every verse ends with Murali Dara Govardhana Dari. So then it's really simple to remember that. Murali Dara Govardhana Dari. Murali, if you don't know, Murali Dara means he plays the flute. The Murali flute. Krishna has 3 flutes. Murali, Venu, and Vangsi. So, and he's called various names when he plays that flute. So, this is just 4 verses, but every verse ends with Murali Dara, Govardhana Dari. And Govardhana Dari means, of course, the lifter of Govardhan Hill. So, wow. So, the first verse is Mayura Mukutta Pitambaradari. So that means he wears a peacock feather in his crown, or a peacock crown, and his cloth his dress is golden or yellow dress. He wears a yellow dress, Pitambaradari, Muradidara, Govardhanadari. And the second verse is Sri Radha Balaba Kunja Bihari Muralidara Govardhanadari. Easy. And the third verse, Jaya Jashodanandana Vangsi Bihari Muralidara Govardhanadari. And then the last verse, Jaya Gopijana Balaba Vangsi Bihari. So that verse before was Jashodanandana Krishna Murali Dara Govardhanadari, and the last verse is Jaya Gopijana Balaba Vangsi Bihari Murali Dara Govardhanadari. That's it, simple. But it's great. It's a real sing-along kirtan. So I think it's very nice. It's not in the. It's in the. I'm just explaining. It's in the a new version of the songbook. Huh? Okay. Well, I don't know what page it is, but you can find it.
What's it called?
It's called Mayura Mukutta. That's also the first line. Mayura Mukutta. This is our same doorbell as I have in my house. I keep thinking, it's maybe some parcel for me. Mayura, Mayura. Got it? Okay. Anyway, got it, Daniel? Yeah. 243. So.
Yeah.
Madhusudam Maharaj also likes to sing this song.
Yeah, that's a great song. Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone try and follow along.
You've learned it by heart already?
Yeah, it's easy to learn. Mayura Mukutta Pitambaradari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari 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 Sri Radha Balaba Mansi Vihana Sri Radha Balaba Kunja Bihari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Sri Radha Balaba Kunja Bihari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Sri Radha Balaba sorry Sri Radha Balaba Kunja Bihari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Sri Radha Balaba Kunja Bihari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Jashoda Nandana Krishna Murari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Jashoda Nandana Krishna Murari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Yashoda Nandana Yashoda Nandana Krishna Murari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Yashoda Nandana Krishna Murari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Gopi Jana Balaba Bhakti Bihari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Sri Radha Bhakti Bihari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Gopi Jana Balaba Bhakti Bihari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Bhakti Bihari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Mukut Mayura Mukutta Pitambaradari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Mayura Mukutta Pitambaradari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Sri Radha Balaba Kunja Bihari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Sri Radha Balaba Kunja Bihari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Jashoda Nandana Bhakti Bihari Jashoda Nandana Krishna Murari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Nandana Krishna Murari Murali Dara Govardhana Dari Radhe Jana Vallabha Bhakti Bihari Murali Dara Govardhan Dari Vallabha Bhakti Bihari Murali Dara Govardhan Dari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Jai Saparika Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhari Jo Ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Jagat Guru Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Rupanu Guru Bhagya Ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Samadvaita Vaishnava Mandali Ki Jai. Kol Kartel Ki Jai. Shri Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. So, I want to wish everyone a very happy New Year. This is New Year's Eve after all. Benjamin Franklin said, be at war with your vices, be at peace with your neighbors, and may every year see you a better man than before. So this is a good ideal for a new year. A new year generally, the idea, that we'll make some resolution to be better this year than we were last year and to improve ourselves. Oh, this is good. Be at war with your vices, be at peace with your neighbors, and may each year see you a better man than you were before. So, we don't have to be perfect, but we can try to be better than we were before. And to be a devotee of Lord Krishna means we have to strive a little bit. It's not just a flag-waving exercise, jumping up and down and waving a flag saying, yes, look at me, I support the Krishna consciousness movement. No, you yourself have to be Krishna conscious. And whatever our imperfections and everything may be. I think it was Mahatma Gandhi who said, be the change you want to see. You yourself have to be that. What you want to see, what you want to be. Try and be that. And that means that, some little struggle in our lives to do that. Because naturally, because we are, small jiva souls, we get pulled down. Just like everything gets pulled down to the earth by the force of gravity. By the force of material nature, we're always being pulled down to a lower state of life. Because we're vulnerable. And that means, we're easily influenced by the material energy. So if we want to rise a little higher, then some necessity for us to give some energy for that. We have to strive a little bit for that and struggle a little bit for that. Every devotee needs to try to be a better devotee than they were yesterday. And even if you just, make a vow to be 1% better than you were yesterday, in a year you should be 365% better devotee than you are now, isn't it? If we try. Actually, it's not our power, not within our power to make ourselves better than we are. But if the Lord sees that we're striving, He'll give some grace to us. He'll give His helping hand to pull us up. Because after all, He wants us for His service. We're not, cast into this material world just to suffer, all of the pains and struggles of material life. We're not meant for that. We're meant to be a servant of Krishna, to live in a state of eternal, blissful service to Lord Krishna. That's what, in Srila Maharaj's words, you're designed and destined for that. And Mahaprabhu is so merciful that he comes and seeks us out, to pull us up, to take us higher. That is a wonderful thing. We don't deal with an impersonal absolute. An impersonal absolute would mean that only by following a particular process or following some particular rules and regulations and all of these things we would be able to elevate ourselves. But we deal with a person. Krishna is a person, and Krishna is the most wonderful person, the most beautiful person, the most magnanimous person, generous, loving, kind, sympathetic to us. Guru Maharaj says, in Gita, Krishna says, that I am the source of everything existing in me, and at the same time, nothing in me, and everyone striving for some connection with me. All of these things are there, but at the same time, I'm friendly to you all. I have some sympathy for you. I'm on your side. Krishna says, just whatever you think your religion is or your dharma is, just leave that and just surrender to me. And don't worry about anything. I'll protect you from any, adverse reaction that may come for that. I'll protect you from that. And you'll come to me. It's beautiful. Guru Maharaj says, that in no other scripture in the world does the Lord plead for himself as he does in Bhagavad Gita. Unashamedly, he tells, I am everything to you, and you should surrender to me. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuro mami vaishasi satyam te pratijani priyoshime. This is my favorite verse in Bhagavad Gita. It's so beautiful, Krishna says it twice. Give your heart to me. Manmana bhav. That means your very heart. Give that to me. Become my devotee. Do everything as an offering to me, and you will come to me. And this is my promise to you, Arjun. Because you're dear to me. Priyoshime. You're dear to me. Now someone will say, yeah, that's Arjun. Arjun's name is Krishna Shaka. He's Krishna's bosom friend. But in the context of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's representing us. Arjun, is representing us. He's our proxy. So when Krishna says, do all these things, be my devotee, come to me, give your heart to me, you will come to me. He's talking to us. And I promise you that because you're dear to me. Everyone. How can Krishna's parts and parcels, his separated parts, if you like, how can they not be dear to him? Every one of us. How can we not be dear to him? And Krishna says, and if you can't believe me, then who will you believe? This is my promise to you, Arjun. So we need to make a little effort towards that. Not much, really. Really not much. And we don't think that by our endeavor, we'll conquer over Maya and, we'll elevate ourselves to some great place. No, by our endeavor, we'll draw Krishna's sympathy to us. We'll draw his affection to us. Oh, they're trying. And he will lift us up. Otherwise, we're hopeless and helpless. If we try to go to the, Srila Guru Maharaj says, if you try to go to the door of qualification, this is ludicrous. To try and show your prowess in front of Krishna. How foolish is that? What does any of that mean to him? Nothing. whoever you may be, even if you're Rockefeller or whoever, the richest people in the world are these days, it doesn't matter. It means nothing to Krishna. But who wants to give themselves to Krishna, their heart and soul, that draws Krishna. So we have to go to a different door. And that door you have to go to on your knees, in humility. Lord, I'm nothing, I'm nowhere, I'm the worst of all. But whoever I am, warts and all, please accept me. I want to be connected with you. That's all that's required, is that we want to be connected with him. And he won't refuse us. That's not within his nature. And there's not even an iota of malice in Krishna. That doesn't exist in him. Only beauty, sympathy, harmony. All of these things. This is Krishna. This is the meaning of the word Krishna, is everything that you can think of, everything beautiful, everything attractive, everything worthy. That's Krishna. He's everything. And we're all searching after him, whether we know it or not. We're all looking for him. Everyone in this material world is looking for their soulmate, isn't it? But he's not there in the material world. He's in the transcendental world. Krishna is your soulmate. For everyone. And he won't share you with a third party. He wants you alone. One of our god sisters, many years ago, she was her husband committed suicide. And she was in a very distraught situation. And she was also contemplating to commit suicide. And I went to see her and I said, no, come and meet Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And then, after meeting him, if you still want to commit suicide, okay, that's up to you. But at least come and meet him, before that happens. She agreed, and I took her to meet Guru Maharaj in Navadvip. She came from Bristol. And she met Guru Maharaj, and she changed her mind. Now she found something worth living for. But while she was there, one of the ladies in the temple, in Navadvip, the Tantra is very big in Bengal, particularly in Navadvip. So it's kind of infused in everybody's life over there, more or less. So one of the ladies that was serving at the mott, she taught our god sister how to summon the spirit of her dead husband. And every night she would go down to the river, and she's bringing her husband there. Anyway, this was going on for some days, and then one morning Guru Maharaj is giving a lecture, and there's all these big sadhu sannyasis sitting around him, with dandas and, like a big assembly, and then us lesser mortals, we were sitting at the back trying to hear what Guru Maharaj is saying. And then suddenly, in the middle of his talk, he said, "Oh, where's that girl? Where's that girl?" And she was also there in the back. I'm here, Maharaj. "Oh, come." And she came, and in front of everyone, he made her sit at his feet, just right in front of her. And then he said, "Oh, you are bringing your husband here, isn't it?" And then she starts crying, And she's like, "Yes, all choked up, yes." And she's saying, "He's here now, I see him over there." She said, "Yes, he's here." And he said, "This is not good. This is not good. You must let him go. And then again she's crying, and then then Guru Maharaj said, Krishna wants you alone. He doesn't want to share you with someone else. He wants you alone. Again she started crying. And after that day she didn't call him again. But this is the point actually. Whatever we have in this material world is just for now. It's not forever. But our relationship with Krishna is forever. And really, he is our soulmate. And he is real, more real. What is our relationship in this world with anybody? We don't know who we are. They don't know who they are. And we're trying to connect soul to soul. But how is that possible if I don't know who I am? You don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am. Then that connection can only be on a superficial level, however well-intentioned it may be. But if you can make that soul-to-soul connection with Krishna, then that same soul-to-soul relationship you have with him, that will be with everyone. Everyone, you'll be able to relate to them on the spiritual plane, not just on the material plane. It's all about priority. What's our priority in life? We have to think about that as we come into the new year. What is it actually that we want in our life? Do we want superficial things? Do we want, some are we going to make New Year's resolution? Oh, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to, all these things that these resolutions that people make, and by the end of January they've broken them all anyway. But what's the point of any of that? The real resolution should be, let me try to give myself to Lord Krishna. Let me try. I heard Srila Prabhupada giving a lecture, and he said, so many lives you've spent trying to find satisfaction in this material world. Now just please give this one life for Krishna. This is earnestly he's saying, I'm asking you, please try to give this one life for Lord Krishna. Just this one. And that's all that's required. Okay, maybe we have so many things that we have to do in this world, but what's our priority? Srila Sridhar Maharaj told us that his Guru Maharaj, Saraswati Thakur, at the Gaura Purnima festival, when Guru Maharaj was invited to go there the first time in Mayapur, and as everybody's leaving, he's telling, oh, you people, don't cheat me. Please, why are you cheating me? And Guru Maharaj said, I'm a very acute listener, Then I'm thinking, what's the question of cheating? So he invited everyone to come for the festival. Now the festival's over, everyone's going home. Where's the question of cheating? He said, but I want to understand what his thought is. So he said, I parked myself nearby so I could hear. And he told, I've invited you all here, and you've entered into a relationship with me, promising to serve Krishna. And now you're all going away again, back to your homes, back to your non-Krishna life, if you like, And he said, and if you say, I have to take care of some duty, there's some fire in my house, I have to put that fire out first. Let me put the fire out, then I'm coming. Then he said, then I say, let it burn. Let the whole world burn. Then you don't have to deal with those burnt things anymore. Just give yourself to Krishna. Guru Maharaj said, that was it for me. That was it. That was it when I heard that. Of course, I did have to go because my mother also passed away at that same time. And she was in great anxiety that I won't perform her shraddha, like the funeral rites. So I had to go and finish that. And then I came back. And also with my brothers and my sister. And he said, and they all stayed for some time, and then they all left crying. But I remained. So, what is our priority? What do we really want? Do we just want to deal with the burnt things of this material world? Or do we really want Krishna? So, this is my, New Year message to everyone, I think, and to myself. Think about what it is that you want in your life. Really what you want. Because, Srila Govinda Maharaj, he said, many times I heard him say when he was giving initiation, it is my expectation that from today you will serve Krishna. Every day you will serve Krishna. From today, when I'm giving you this Maha Mantra and all of this, my expectation is from today you will serve Lord Krishna. Then that should be our priority. We've made a promise. We've made a promise. You've given us our connection for eternal life through this Maha Mantra. And we promise you to serve Krishna. We never heard Guru Maharaj or Gurudev saying, promise to follow the 4 regulative principles and promise to chant so many rounds every day. That's given, that's accepted. It wasn't even something that was necessary for Gurudev or Guru Maharaj to say. But what the real thing is that from today, you'll serve Krishna. Every day, from now on. That's, Gurudev said, that's my expectation. So then that should be our vow, our resolve, yes. I've given my promise to serve Krishna. Then what will I do? I must serve Krishna every day. But our circumstances changing our vow. Things happen in our life and it changes, but that's not acceptable. Whatever comes in front of us in our life, yes, we have to deal with that, no doubt. But that should not be our priority. Our priority should be that I promised my Gurudev I would serve Krishna. I have to serve Krishna. Otherwise, how is it that we think that we'll go to Krishna if we don't serve Krishna? We have to go. When Haricharan Prabhu, he told Srila Govinda Maharaj when they were brahmacharis together, I never finished my education. So I think I'm going to go back to college and get my MA, my master's degree. And then when I go for preaching, they can say, Haricharan Das, MA. And people will listen to me, he's saying, then. And Govinda Maharaj said, oh, have you discussed this with Guru Maharaj? And he said, no, not yet. He said, okay, let's go and talk to Guru Maharaj. So they went to see Guru Maharaj, and Haricharan Prabhu repeated his idea. And Guru Maharaj said, don't you understand the school you're already enrolled in? Don't you understand that you're in the same school as Shukadev? Your classmates are Shukadev, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. These are your classmates. You're studying in that school. Then what is an MA compared with that? Think about it. It's not like some ordinary thing. Then why would you want to leave that for that? Once I was visiting Guru Maharaj, and there was one devotee there. He is from Belgium, but a very Germanic kind of devotee. Very serious. He was very serious. We were going up to see Guru Maharaj in the morning, and we saw him. He came one way, I came the other. I said, good morning, Prabhu. How are you today? And he said, That is a relative conception. I said, oh, sorry. Just like asking how you were. Anyway, we went upstairs to see Guru Maharaj. And he's telling Guru Maharaj, oh, I'm studying for my PhD, and I'm writing a thesis on Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Dasamula. That's the basis of my thesis. Then Guru Maharaj started talking about Dasamula. And it was one of those days, when there was no one there and no one was recording Guru Maharaj, And so he's giving this talk. And so he's explaining Bhaktivinoda's Dasamula, and he's also saying, Nimbarka Swami, he also wrote a Dasamula, and he's comparing and contrasting the two. And you're thinking, this is going to be his PhD thesis. This is gold. What he's telling him is gold. But no, that devotee and his friend, halfway through the talk, they just bowed down and went. They just left. And Guru Maharaj, it's for them, he's telling all this, right? For him. And he just left. And, Guru Maharaj is more or less blind then. He can't see. He can see, figures, but he can't, focus in on anything, If he wants to read something in the book, it's put it this close to his face. So then he starts, I'm there and a couple of other devotees, and so he's focusing on me, thinking I'm that devotee. He didn't realize they'd gone. And then he says, he's after finishing his amazing talk about Dasamula, and he says, but this PhD and all of this, he said, we hate it from the core of our heart. We hate it. And then and then he leans forward to me and he says, what do you think about that? And Guru Maharaj's secretary, he was a big jolly man. And he started laughing and laughing. And when he laughed, his body would shake, he's laughing. And Guru Maharaj turned to him and he said, is it funny? Is what I'm saying funny? Why are you laughing? Then Guru Maharaj's secretary said, oh, that devotee, he left about an hour ago. And then Guru Maharaj started laughing, Then he said, oh, then who am I talking to? And he said, oh, it's Devashis. And then Guru Maharaj says, oh, then that was for you, Prabhu. Okay. Anyway, always in our practicing life, there will be a clash between the relative and the absolute. Always. It's inevitable. At some point, the relative consideration and the absolute consideration will come to clash. Then we have to decide where we're going to give our priority, to the relative or to the absolute. And that's the test, actually, for us. We have to give our allegiance to the absolute, ultimately. Everything else is secondary. And it's actually difficult for us to hear that, We're thinking, oh yeah, that so many important things in my life, my family, my society, my this, my that, my whatever it may be. But it's all relative. And what is really of the utmost importance is the cultivation of our spirit. It's more important than anything else in this material world, whatever it may be, whoever it may be. It's the very thing that we need to give our attention to, above everything else. And if you give your attention to that, then everything else will fall into place. The Lord will take care of everything for you. He says that. That's his promise. Don't fear. Krishna says, don't fear that by leaving your duty in this world, that you'll be overcome by sin. Just like running away from your responsibility in this world is a sin. It's a sinful thing to do. What you have responsibility in this world, you have to take care of that. But what Krishna is saying is, that's okay, but if you leave that for me, then that reaction, don't worry, I'll take care of that. Don't worry about that. That's also a crucial point. Are we running away from the world, or are we running for Krishna? If we're running for Krishna, then it's okay. If we're just running away because it's too much, I don't want to deal with that anymore, it's all too much, I can't deal with it. No, that's sinful. But if we're running for Krishna, if we're leaving that for Krishna, then he will take care of everything. And it's not easy. Srila Guru Maharaj said the life of a devotee means you have to live on a diet of dal and gall. So that means, dal means simple food. Your food will be simple. And gall means the abuse of others. That will be your diet. Simple food and the abuse of others. We see that in history, right? All the great devotees, they're persecuted. Aren't they? Look at Lord Jesus, just his birthday, perhaps, a few days ago. They nailed him to a cross, didn't they? Cut his side open. Then, and Haridas Thakur whipped through 27 marketplaces because he wouldn't give up chanting Krishna Nam. There's so many examples. Srila Guru Maharaj says, the path of a devotee isn't strewn with rose petals. All kinds of things will come to oppose us, and we will have to deal with those things. And we can be successful if our aim is true and our intention is pure, as much as possible. Nothing is pure in this world. It's always tinged with something. But as much as possible, with what we have. And the main enemies to progress of a devotee, Kanaka, Kamini, Pratishta. This is given. Kanaka means wealth, gold. Wealth. Kamini means women for men and men for women. And Pratishta means name and fame. Reputation, all of these things. These are the enemies of a devotee. And they're like divisions of that. Because, Krishna consciousness is attractive. Devotion to Krishna is as attractive as Krishna is. The devotion to Krishna is so attractive that Krishna himself wants to be a devotee. And so he comes as Chaitanya Dev to be his own devotee. That's how attractive Krishna consciousness is. And that also means the devotees of Krishna are attractive. And what happens, right, those who are renowned devotees, all kinds of things come to them. People give them money. People give them worship. People adore them. Then what will you do with that, if that comes to you? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says this is like one of the symptoms of unsteady devotion. Taranga Rangini. Taranga Rangini means the facilities that belong to your guru, you enjoy with those. You enjoy with those. Because they're offered to you as the representative of your guru. And instead of you using that in your guru's service, you enjoy with it. This is one of the obstacles to devotion. We see it, that it can happen. What will we do with those things when they come to us? When someone becomes famous as a devotee or as a kirtaniya or whatever it may be, and some honor and praise, Srila Govinda Maharaj, he would say, Guru Maharaj would send me for begging. In Vedic tradition, it is the duty of the disciple to beg for his guru. It's not because his guru needs money, it's not for that. It's to engage people in the service of Krishna. And it's also to make you be introspective. Srila Govinda Maharaj said, I hated that. He said, that's not my nature. I don't like to ask anybody for anything. But it's a discipline, one discipline of a brahmachari to beg on behalf of his guru. In India, it's still respected. Somewhat. But he said what that means is when I would go out and I'd say, please, give some donation for the service of my Gurudev, they would say, why are you doing this? Why don't you have a job? Why aren't you married? Why aren't you, got a home and a, career and education and all these things? And Gurudev would say, and I would have to ask myself that question. Yeah, good question. Why am I doing this? I said, so as much as I'm answering their question, I'm answering my own internal question too. And this way it makes your faith become more solid. Now I can understand, why am I doing this? Not just doing it for the sake of doing it. But anyway, the point I wanted to make was, he would say, and if anyone gave some donation for Guru Maharaj, I must make sure that every paisa of that donation goes to Guru Maharaj. I'm very careful, like when I'm traveling around Calcutta, and sometimes you want to have sugarcane juice or go to Gangaram's and buy a rasagulla or something, He said, I'm not using that money for that, because my fear is that what those people have given for the service of Krishna, that I should use that for my own enjoyment. No, every paisa must go to Guru Maharaj. Then they'll get the full benefit of that. So this is, Taranga Rangini, that you become like wealthy because of devotion to Krishna. Wealth may come to you. Fame may come to you. Adoring people may come to you. And what will you do with that? You try to enjoy with that, then you must go down. We have to try to, with a clear heart, to offer everything to the service of our Lord. Then we will be safe. But these are the main obstacles. This happens. Devotees become wealthy. People say, oh, that very nice devotee helped me so much. They want to give some donation to them. Then what will you do with that? And then they're coming, sadhu sannyasi, they've renounced the world, and now all the ladies in the ashram want to wash and iron their clothes for them, and cook for them, and do all this, more than their wife, if they had a wife. And it can be a problem. And Pratishta, all this name and fame, such a great devotee, flying all around the world, and on the donations of others. And how will you utilize that? And to greater and lesser degree, this can happen to us. Like, what for me, what for him? There's like a joke. The three priests meeting together, the Protestant priest, the Catholic priest, and the rabbi, and one of them asks, what do you do with when the collection plate goes round on Sunday, Money, they put money. How do you decide what's for you and what's for the church? And the Anglican priest, he says, well, I draw a circle on the ground and I throw the money in the air, and what lands inside the circle, that I give to the church. What lands outside the circle, I use that for myself. And then the Catholic priest says, yeah, I do the same thing, but what is outside of the circle I give to the church, and what goes inside the circle I keep for myself. And then the rabbi, he says, I throw the money in the air. What he catches, he can keep. Sorry, it's a bit of a racist joke. But we all have that mentality, isn't it? This much for me, this much for Krishna. This much for the temple, this much for me. And maybe that you have to do that. Some sensible arrangement. But not everybody's like that. We heard from Guru Maharaj that Professor Nishikanta Sanyal, he was like a great scholar in the Gaudiya mission. His name was Narayan Das Adhikari. And he was also like the dean of, I think, of Lucknow University. I may be wrong which school it was. But anyway, he was like a big professor at school, college, university. And a big salary. He had a big salary. And he had a wife and children, everything. But every month when he would get his paycheck, he gave it all to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Every paisa to his guru. And then Saraswati Thakur would give something to him for the maintenance of his family. It wasn't any a deal, you give me this much and I'll give you that much. Whatever he gave him, he accepted that and lived on that as prasadam. This is perfect sharanagati. To live on the remnants of Guru and Krishna makes your life perfect. It's our goal, actually, to live only on the remnants of Krishna. And he did that in a practical way. But who will do that? Who will do that? Now, in this day and age, who will do that? Rather, we're thinking, let me give something to the temple. I can help the temple out. To give some money to the temple, I'll help the temple out. And this is a wrong mentality. We are to serve, not to, One of our godbrothers, I'm sure he won't mind me telling his name, Judamanyu Prabhu. He passed away a few years ago. He was preaching in China and passed away. But Guru Maharaj gave him the title Seva Vikram. Judamanyu Seva Vikram. That means who's valiant in service, Seva Vikram. And he was responsible for, in America, a party of devotees that were doing fundraising. And so one day, when I was there, he came to Guru Maharaj and he gave Guru Maharaj $10,000 a donation. And Guru Maharaj could see, Guru Maharaj accepted, but Guru Maharaj could see a little pride in his face, his expression, or his demeanor. Guru Maharaj could detect. And why not be proud? $10,000, a lot of money, even then. About 1984 or 85, this was. Even nowadays, it would be more, but then $10,000 was a lot. And Guru Maharaj said, once a king came to Vrindavan, a Vaishnav king, and he saw Rupa and Sanatan. They're worshipping their deity in a tree. And doing that, and we understand, right, from the song, the Sad Goswami Astakam, that They slept under a different tree every night. They didn't have anywhere. They just slept under a different tree. Not this, even the same tree, like this is my tree. No, slept under a different tree every night. And they're doing their worship of their deity in the tree. Then that king, when he saw that, oh, they're two great sadhus, famous sadhus. I can build a temple for them to keep their deity. I have wealth, I can make a temple. He's feeling like this, I can give some boon to them. Then Guru Maharaj said that when he was thinking like that, it started to rain. And he's seeing the rain falling on Rupa and Sanatana. And then he realized, it's not raining water. It's raining diamonds and rubies and emeralds. That's raining down on Rupa and Sanatana. And then that king realized, yes, I'm thinking that I am wealthy, I can be their benefactor, but their Lord is Lakshmipati. All wealth is his domain. Then he realized. And then Judamanyu Prabhu also a little chastened by that story. We can give, but what is that? Actually, there's another devotee. His name was Jagat Bandhu Bhakti Ranjan. He was a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and a very affluent, successful businessman. And one time, then Saraswati Thakur, they had their center in Mayapur, and Saraswati Thakur, he wants to build a temple in Calcutta. They had a center in Calcutta, but it was in a rented house. He wants to build a big temple there. So he told his disciples in Calcutta, Calcutta's maybe bigger than London, at least as big as London as a city. And it's predominantly Hindus that live in Calcutta. Then his plan was, he told his disciples, I want you to go to door and ask every family to give 2 rupees, and we can collect 1 lakh rupees, we can build the temple. So this is in 1937 or something, then you can understand. That's when a rupee was worth a lot of money. So 2 rupees, 1 lakh of rupee, you can build a whole temple, So this was Saraswati Thakur's plan. Then when Jagat Bandhu, he heard, Saraswati Thakur, Gurudev, he wants to build a temple and he wants to raise 1 lakh of rupees. Then he came forward and he gave Saraswati Thakur 3 lakhs rupees. And then he's the big hero, to all the devotees there, and they're carrying him on their shoulders, Jai. And he's really embarrassed. And so their magazine then, it was called the Gaudiya. It was a monthly magazine. And he wrote an article in there. Why is everyone giving so much praise to me? Because I gave this money to Saraswati Thakur. He's my guru, it belongs to him. The money already belongs to him. All I did was gave it back to him. My ego is telling me that it's my money and I'm donating that. But the reality is, it belongs to my guru anyway. So I'm just giving it. So what's the big deal? He's this is the tenor of his article. And it's a fact, we just believe that what comes to us is ours because we made some endeavor for it. We went to the office from 9 to 5 for the whole week and we got our paycheck. Then I did that. I worked for that. But Bhagavad Gita teaches us something differently. Bhagavad Gita tells us you have your right to do your duty. But the fruit of that belongs to me, not to you. It's mine. And this is a basic teaching of Bhagavad Gita, but who follows that? Who, when they goes to work, thinks, this is all for Krishna? No, they're thinking, no, this is for me. I worked for it. It belongs to me. And if there's anything left over, I'll throw that to the temple because I'm so benevolent. And then they asked Saraswati Thakur, oh, you must be so happy. You wanted to raise 1 lakh rupees and he gave you 3 lakhs rupees. That's like bonus, right? 3 times as much. And Saraswati Thakur, are you satisfied, Gurudev? And Saraswati Thakur said, no, you don't understand. What I wanted was that every household in Calcutta, they'll get some sukriti for helping us build this temple. They'll get some benefit. Each one give 2 rupees. Now that sukriti, he stole all of it for himself. He got all of it. Anyway, temple was built. That's the Bhag Bazar Gaudiya Math, grand temple. Krishna has his ways, he has his ways. But money will come. It belongs to him anyway. He's Lakshmi Pati. Saraswati Thakur wrote in a song, all wealth is the property of Narayan. Lakshmi, and sometimes the devotees particularly, they call wealth, money, Lakshmi, don't they? You're going out with the... Got the lakhs, Prabhu? The lakhs? Lakshmi means the goddess of fortune. Then she's the consort of Narayan. So all wealth is the property of Narayan. And all women, the property of Krishna. Because Krishna is the only lover. And all pratishta, fame, name, fame, prestige, is the property of Guru Vaishnava. He wrote this in a song. Then one man, after reading that when he's giving a lecture, he said, I read in your song that you said all women belong to Krishna. He said, so what's our position? We're men? Like, what's our position? Nothing for us? What's our position? If all women belong to Krishna, what's our position? And Saraswati Thakur said, oh, it's very clear. You don't have any position. This is sometimes it's like a little bit of a bitter pill for us to swallow. But the truth is that everything is meant for the satisfaction of Krishna. And we are also meant for the satisfaction of Krishna. We're not outside of that. When Srila Gurudev gives initiation, he would say, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. He doesn't mean chant Hare Krishna and try and be happy in your life. No. What he means is chant Hare Krishna and thereby be happy. By the chanting of Krishna name, you'll be happy. Don't need to endeavor for happiness outside of that. Because what's coming to you is coming to you. Saraswati Thakur told that. But what's your karma fall, the fruit of your karma, that's already ordained. It's already decided. Nothing you can do to make that happen. And also nothing you can do to stop that from happening. It's going to happen. So don't waste your time with that. Utilize your time for cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Then you'll be properly benefited. That your energy will be properly utilized. Because we're always thinking, right, if I do this or I do that and I make some plan, then I'll be happy in life. Oh, I'm not happy here, then I'll move here and then I'll be more happy and, whatever it is. Change your circumstance, now you'll be happy. But the trouble with that is, wherever you go, there you are. Isn't it? It's still you. You've still got the same stuff going on inside you. You're somewhere else, that's all. Then let that be. Because what happens to us in life, that doesn't determine whether we're happy or we're unhappy.
It's how we react to those things that happen to us that determine that. And if you have a proper vision of things, then you can be happy in all circumstances. If you understand that everything is meant for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that means you too, you're included in that equation. You're actually part of that production of Krishna's happiness. You've got some part to play in that. Maybe you don't know what it is, but you do. Only you have to change your consciousness. Now we're thinking that everything in the environment is either to be accepted or rejected by me because it'll benefit me or not. Now that means, like, when we're going in the world, we're looking at everything and everyone. Should I do this or shouldn't I do this? And our criteria is, how will it benefit me? If I enter into a relationship with this person, will that benefit me? If I utilize this thing that's come in front of me, will that benefit me? But it's wrong. The premise is wrong. The premise should be that all of these things, they're the ingredients for my service to Krishna. And how can I utilize that for the service of Krishna? That means you have to change your perspective. It's not about me. It's about him. And it was always about him. It's not, that, like, we're all the same. We come to Krishna consciousness and we think, I think this is going to benefit me in my life. It's going to make me more happy, more peaceful, more everything. If I utilize this Krishna consciousness in my life, I'll become a better person, I'll become more peaceful, I'll become satisfied, or whatever it is, right? This was the propaganda, especially in the 1960s and 70s. Chant Hare Krishna, stay high forever, isn't it? Right? Yeah, that sounds good. Everyone wants to stay high forever. You can do that by chanting Hare Krishna. Okay, that's all right, that's fine. Krishna himself says this in Bhagavad Gita. These 4 types of people surrender to me. Who's suffering, who's impoverished, who's inquisitive, and who's searching for the absolute truth. These 4 types of men, they surrender to me. Because they find that all of those things will be satisfied in Krishna. My poverty will be gone. My suffering will be gone. My inquiry, my inquisitiveness will be satisfied. And I will find the absolute truth. Whichever one or combination of that. Okay, all right, so that's all well and good. But now that that's happened, now what are you going to do? Now what? Now you have to realize that it's not about you and your satisfaction and your alleviation from suffering, or none. It's not about you. What it's about is him, Krishna. You are meant to satisfy him. Oh, how do I do that? That's why we approach Guru and Vaishnava. They know how to satisfy Krishna. They can teach us how to satisfy Krishna. That's called bhajana kriya. Bhajana kriya, it's one of the stages of development and devotion. When you have faith in the Vaishnava, the faith in the sadhu, you want to practice Krishna consciousness, you surrender to that Vaishnava, and they teach you how to develop Krishna consciousness, how to serve Krishna, in other words. That's called bhajana kriya. To serve Krishna under the direction of a Vaishnava. You can't serve Krishna by your own imagination. Oh yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that, and Krishna will be satisfied with me. No, he won't. Krishna is only satisfied when we follow the direction of his devotee, because his devotee knows how to satisfy Krishna. His devotee, Krishna belongs to him. There's two kinds of devotees, and this is in our line particularly important. The even more developed idea that generally the devotees think, I belong to him. And it's right and it's true. But the followers of the Braja Gopis, they think he belongs to us. Yes, I belong to him, but more than that, Krishna belongs to me. He's my Krishna. So when you go to Vrindavan, and we were going on the Vrindavan Parikram, and we were at the Keshi Ghat. Keshi Ghat is where Krishna jumped into the Jamuna and fought with Kaliya. So it was one of the places we go on Parikram. So we're sitting there, and the sannyasis are telling some lecture about this place and all these things. And just nearby, there's these young girls waiting there, like teenage girls, down to like young girls, and they're listening to what we're hearing from the sannyasis, and they're really happy. Because why they're so happy? Because they're thinking, these people have come here to worship our Krishna. And they love that, Like we worship Krishna, we love Krishna, and these people also, they love Krishna. That's like, they love that, these little girls. And then when we finish, then they come and they start singing these songs about Krishna. We were in the Radharaman temple waiting for the arti, a group of us. And there's these old ladies there. They're like the old. Every temple you have some old ladies that are there, serving. In Navadvip, these old ladies, they just sit there all day, going through the spices, taking out like stones and from the dal and things. That's their service. They do it all day, And they're just anyway. These ladies in the Radharaman temple, and they're just singing. They're singing, and it's Kartik time, so they're singing Damodarastaka. And then they start singing the Gopi Gita from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is so beautiful. I just recognize a couple of the verses. Tavagatam ritam tattva jivanam srimadattatam. It's beautiful. Srila Govinda Maharaj said, it's like this whole thing changes, in the Bhagavatam, Vedavyas, he gives like a very strong composition in Srimad Bhagavatam, composed in Sanskrit, 18,000 verses, all these things, then. Then when he comes to the Gopi Gita, this is the songs of the cowherd girls. And he's composing this in Srimad Bhagavatam, or you can say in a sense channeling that. And Srila Guru Maharaj, he asked Govinda Maharaj, what's your feeling when you read the Gopi Gita in Bhagavatam? And Govinda Maharaj said, my feeling is that like Vyasadeva, he's like a great elephant. And like the royal elephant he's given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then when he comes to the Gopi Gita, the mood changes. Like this sweet mood of these young girls singing in love for Krishna. And he said, then my feeling was, an elephant is dancing. And everyone will be astonished to see that. This elephant dancing. He said, that's my feeling when I hear the Gopi Gita. And Guru Maharaj appreciated that very much. So this is actually what we should be thinking about. Not Gopi Gita, that's very high. But what we should be thinking, how we are Krishna's. We are meant for him. How can we satisfy Krishna? And not just like, going off on some, mental tangent of our imagination, how we can serve Krishna. We serve Krishna by satisfying Krishna's devotee. And if Krishna's devotee is satisfied, Krishna is satisfied. It's a kind of transcendental symbiosis. That Krishna, he wants to serve his devotees. Krishna tells the Brajavasis that everyone wants me, Krishna says. The yogis, the jnanis, they all want me. But what he's telling the cowherd girls, what you have given to me, I can't repay that. I've told in many places that as one surrenders to me, I reciprocate accordingly. But I can't keep that promise with you. What you have given to me, the love that you give to me, I can't reciprocate that. It's too much. I don't know how to reciprocate that. This is Krishna's dilemma. That he wants to serve his devotees, but they won't allow him to do that. They won't allow even like a pinprick of service from their Lord Krishna. No, we are to serve you, not that you will serve me. When we were, I need to finish now, but when we were in with Srila Govinda Maharaj, we were trying to raise money to build a temple, like this temple. Gurudev wants us to do that. Then my daughter, she was maybe 6 years old, 5, 6 years old. She said, Dad, can't you just go to Vrindavan and ask one of the Kalpavriksha trees to give you the money? They're desire trees, right? They'll just give you whatever you want. Won't they? Then problem solved, isn't it? She's asking me. I told Gurudev that. And Gurudev was laughing. He said, "Oh, what did you say? How did you reply?" I said, I replied, "Oh no, they don't hear me because I'm not pure, so they don't hear my prayer." And Gurudev said, "Yes, good answer, but not right. It's the wrong answer." I said, "Oh, what's the right answer, Gurudev?" He said, "The right answer is that we are to serve them, not that they are to serve us." Now, even their wish-fulfilling tree, desire tree, you can see many in Vrindavan. But we're not to go to them asking for something. We should want to serve them. But they're part of Krishna's entourage. We want to serve them. And this is the crux of it, right? Krishna wants to serve his devotees. The devotees won't allow it. So then what does he do? He gives us some service to them. We get some chance to do a little service to Krishna's devotee. Then Krishna feels, what I couldn't do, they're doing. And he's more happy. And then those devotees, us, we get benefit of that. Spiritual symbiosis is a very beautiful thing. So this is some thoughts in our new year. How can I give myself more for Krishna's service? What will that mean? And this is the whole point of Sharanagati, surrender to Krishna. Guru Maharaj says you have to discuss it. You have to talk about it. You have to try to understand it with each other. Okay, I want to surrender to Krishna, but what does that mean practically? How do I do that? All of these things. And maybe we don't know the answer, but maybe together we can figure it out. At least we should try to figure it out. Because that's what we should be doing, surrendering to Lord Krishna. and in a practical way. So, okay, I should surrender to Krishna. What does that mean? Gurudev said, not just surrender and lie down, but surrender and serve. Let's try and find out together. Let's try and find out together. And this is why have we got this beautiful temple and so much facility? Just for that. Just so we can come together and try and puzzle out how we give ourselves to Lord Krishna. And all facilities already here for that. He's here. The Lord of Sankirtan, He's here, waiting for your service. Jai Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Harinama Sankirtan ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Now we are.
Should I bring the gong?
Bring Dayanidhi.
Jai Sapakash, Guru Rangaraj,
Okay, I'm finished now. You can come back. Here's some water.
Someone is going to bring you
Follow.
This is
no. Prakash Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Patra Mahamsa Prabhu Varya Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Nimacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mahacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Patra Mahamsa Prabhu Varya Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Patra Mahamsa Prabhu Varya Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Patra Mahamsa Prabhu Varya Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pada Srila Gauri Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pada Srila Siddhananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pada Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Pada Vidyabhusana Ki Jai. Vishnavat Chakravarti Prabhu Ki Jai. Nirtam Shamananda Srinivasa Charya Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Givraj Goswami Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sika Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Saprisa Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Sachiman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Sinavi Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Mayapuna Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shri Amakunda Radha Kunda Gauri Govardhan Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Dham Ki Jai. Pada Jagannath Ki Jai. Sita Bhakti Nasha Shri Nisimadev Ki Jai. Bhakti Prabhara Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Radha Srimad Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Vishnu Vaishnava Raja Sabha Ki Jai. Bhakti Raja Shri Chaitanya Mata Ki Jai. Shri Sakha Mata Ki Jai. Shri Saraswat Mata Ki Jai. Chaitanya Saraswat Mata Vasmoni Chapter Ki Jai. Vishnu Vyapita Diya Sakha Mata Ki Jai. Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Naveta Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samavata Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sankirtan Ki Jai. Om Premananda Hari.